Well, hello and welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is Motor Mike Media, and as always, I'm Motor Mike, and today I'm here with my 2000 Jeep Cherokee XJ. And unfortunately, I've been having a slight leak. Now, it wasn't too bad, so all I did was just throw some cardboard underneath. I said I'd deal with it later. Now, that was a couple weeks ago, and lately it's been getting a little bit worse. Let me show you the little pieces of cardboard I've been throwing under here. Alright, so when I first noticed the leak, I was tired, so I just threw cardboard underneath. So this was about 2 weeks of leaking. And you can see it's a pretty decent sized spot. And some of these spots are dark, which is probably oil. Now if you're someone that's mechanically inclined, you know there's lots of different colors when it comes to the fluids in your vehicle. Obviously if it's brown or black, it's probably oil. If you have red stuff, well, it's probably transmission fluid. And depending on what kind of coolant you are and where you live, you can either have water that's coming out of your radiator or a mixture of a yellowish green coolant with water. Now, that didn't look too bad. I was a little concerned about the oil, but this is from the last 2 weeks. As you can see, the spot has grown quite a bit, and there's still lots of dark spots. So maybe there's a few leaks here, but let's look under the hood and see what we can find. Alright, I put you guys in handheld mode. You can see the 4-liter inline-6 engine. Now, my vehicle used to have AC that got deleted, and the only time we've had a leak was actually back here at this junction. So whenever you're looking for a leak, you want to see, hey, is it a loose hose clamp? Maybe a hose is starting to go bad, or is there a pinhole in it? Something like that. But looking back here, everything's dry. And before I could tell, it was dripping right there on the oil filter. Oil filter still looks clean. Now, it's probably hard to see from the angles I'm giving you guys. I do need a valve cover gasket. That's starting to leak, but that leak isn't going down to the floor, but we got to find out what it is. Now, I started to look at fluids. My brake fluid, it's a little dirty, but it's full. I looked at the power steering pump. It's doing good, just a smidge dirty, probably should get replaced in the near future. But something concerned me, guys. It really did, this right here. So I just popped this open. I actually filmed up to this point and then realized my mic wasn't on, but I opened this up. You can see right when I poured it out. It is a greenish slash oil-like color, and it is very dirty. It's also very full, and that is not good. I got very concerned, so before I refilmed this with the mic on, I Google searched, and I've seen on some forums that they've had problems like this before. It's not very common, but it's happening. You can see that's dirty too. It's probably hard to see on the angles I'm giving you, but there is a chance it could be a head cover gasket, which would really suck. I don't think that's the case because, one, the vehicle's not overheating. It's driving the same. It hasn't changed anything. I took a long drive the other day, and it stayed at about 195, 200-ish the whole time, driving highway and in the city. But this is very dirty. Now, the forum said, here, let me show you guys. It does feel a little grimy, but I smelt it. It doesn't smell like oil, but there's little bits of debris in here. Some people said, hey, I had to flush my radiator. Not once, but twice. Some people talked about flushing the whole system out and replacing the hoses, which is something I might do. You can see right there, I just flexed the hose a little bit. But this is dirty, this is disgusting, but I don't see a leak coming from up here, so I'm gonna go down below. I'm really happy I looked it up, because at first I actually went into panic mode, and I was like, no head cover gasket, please. But I don't think that's it, at least not yet. Alright, so I'm underneath, and that little spot right there that's dripping, that's just for me opening the top. Like I said, the coolant for the radiator is dirty, and it is very full. But coming along here, I can see like that bushing right there is not looking too good. I don't really see a bad hose or anything. This line here is dry, but some people have asked to see the underneath components of my vehicle. I have rust down here. Obviously the body's rusty. I made a whole video on that. A lot of the stuff down here is surface rust. Some things are pretty bad though. You can see like this bushing right here. Right there. You guys see that? That's leaking. That may be a cause of one of the little drips that I thought was oil. But I don't really see a whole lot. Ooh, right here, guys. Let's see if I get the camera in a good angle. This right here. That is my leak. Actually, it's coming right from the front too. Yep, bingo. So right there, we got a little bit of a leak. That's probably, I'm sorry, that little bar's in the way for you guys. That's probably my leak right there. This whole part right here is just soaked. So that's probably leaking. I'm probably getting 1 or 2 drips from these guys right here as well. So that's probably my big problem. I'm happy I did check my fluids. I also checked the oil. Oil's looking good. It's a little bit low. But I think the big thing is, as I try to stand up from the ground, big thing is, guys, we're gonna fix this. This is probably gonna be the next video on this car, is we're gonna flush this thing out twice. We're gonna replace all the hoses up front and see if this gets better, because you can just see it is dirty, it is nasty, and it is not good. All right, so we looked around and we saw a few little problems that need to get fixed. It seems like that line up front as well as the front has a bad seal. Now, I'm gonna actually clean underneath there and monitor it for about 2 or 3 days to see exactly what's all leaking up front, but it's gonna need some work. You guys saw that. I'm happy that nothing up top was leaking, but we did see, hey, you should check your fluids a little bit more often, or at least I should. Seeing how dirty that was got me very concerned. The first thing that came to my head was a head gasket blew, but I stopped, I calmed down, I went online, did a little bit of research, and other Jeep people have dealt with something like that, saying you need to flush the radiator, flush the block, change out some hoses. So, like I said, I'm not concerned. I took a longer trip. It didn't overheat. It's driving the same. It hasn't made any different sounds or anything like that. So, probably try to figure out what that actual leak is up front. Like I said, spray, clean, find the exact leaks, replace those components. Then we're going to flush this radiator out, change out some of these hoses up front. Luckily, my dad has a few of these hoses laying around his garage, so I won't have to spend too much money on that. Plus, hoses are pretty cheap anyway. Eventually, we're going to have to do the valve cover gasket as well. It's hard to get angles. If you guys have a recommendation for a nice camera for like automotive YouTubing, something that's high quality but also a little bit smaller so I can get in some better angles, please let me know in the comments below. But we have a little bit of work to do under the engine bay, a little bit more than I thought we needed to do, but luckily this engine's still running strong. I was very concerned, but it looks like things will be good, which is a little bit of money and a little bit of time. This will be back on the road and not leaking at all. But that's all I have for you today. I thank you all for watching, and if you haven't already and you want to, please check out my channel. I keep trying to give you guys more and more content. It's about cars, trucks, crossovers, and SUVs. Combustion engines, just like this 4-liter inline 6, and EVs, a little bit of everything. But please, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you guys can stay up to date with the latest and greatest from my channel. And as always, I truly, truly appreciate you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.